Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and it's my pleasure to introduce our guest, Terrebonne Parish President Gordon Dove. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jacob.
All right, it's something a little bit different this time. It's not hurricanes. It's another, I guess, disaster. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a real disaster, but it's something that has certainly got your attention. We're talking about, of course, the Marsh fire that's happening along Savannah and Highway 90 out there. Can you tell us, all the efforts that are going in to protect everyone?
Well, a couple of weeks back, a fire started out there, and it was small, but it was in towards the center of this basin that we're going to show you, this 4,000 acres, and then, of course, it just spread and kept spreading, and there was efforts to put it out, and then once it gets under that underbrush, we believe it travels, and we had a couple of heavy rains, and it wouldn't, it put it out, and then about 2 days later, it started back up again. And of course, it's gotten very large, and so I made a decision, first of all, I want to thank the Bayou Fire Department, the Bayou Black Fire Department, the Shreveport Fire Department, the City of Houma, and the Bayou Blue Fire Department. And, they all assisted because it got up to Savannah Road, and they were trying to keep it off Savannah Road. It was burning right on Savannah Road and on Highway 90. So, and along the levee, they kept spraying it with these, what they call these brush trucks. And so I want to thank them guys. They really did a fabulous job. But they can't get it to the middle of it. So that's when I stepped in, and then I made a decision to go ahead and flood it using pumps.
Okay, and let's see. I think we have a picture here that kind of shows the overall 4,000 acres, if you want to describe exactly what we're looking at.
Right, and if you look, if you look at that in the corner, that's Rouse's and Martin Luther King in the left-hand corner. And then if you follow those yellow dots, that's Savannah Road. From there all the way to the right is Highway 90. That's approximately 5 miles by about 1.5 mile basin. And actually this was property donated by Shell Oil that we're building a retention in. So we have the pump station under construction, but it's just piping right now. So naturally we had no pumps to use. So what we did is along that lower line, if we could go to the next slide, might show it a little better. Okay, so where it says Bayou Cane, the green on top, as you can see, where Rouse is to the right and Martin Luther King, we went ahead. We've got 10 pumps that's pumping water out of Bayou Cane into this system, and then where the corner of Savannah Road and Whiskey Bayou to the right, we have numerous 18 and 20-inch pumps pumping into the system. And what I decided to do is to just go ahead and flood it. I mean, we're designing this thing to hold rainwater during a heavy rain, pumping it out of Bayou Cane and storing it and then releasing it. So the rain don't seem to want to put out the fire. I mean, it just keeps coming back, and there's big timber out there that burnt. And our deal is to keep it away from these cypress trees. So we're running water below the cypress trees and doing as much as humanly possible. My public works, Joey Seahan, and I want to thank the Sheriff's Department. They've kept the roads blocked. And Tim Saunier and them been Johnny on the spot working with us. And their guy, he's flying a drone. We have GIS engineering. We're spotting the water to see how it's traveling as we fill this basin up.
Okay, and I guess the whole purpose of doing that is to, I guess, put out the fire, because, as you said, you had the rain will put it out temporarily, but you have the undergrowth that grows, and maybe you think it's out, but they still have those embers underneath it where the rain doesn't get to. And the only way to, I guess, get to that is to flood it out.
You got to douse it.
Sure.
And you've got some timber that's catching fire, this big timber, and the rain just doesn't put it out. It smolders, and it takes a couple days, and it comes right back up. So, the only thing to put it, like on this next picture, is if you look in the background of this picture where we're flowing water, you look at the glare in the back, you can see the fire way off. And it's all over. It's 4,000 acres, so it just flares up at different spots. You never know when it's flaring up. It's a very, very unique marsh fire. Remember, this is all wetlands. This is all normally wet, and you can walk through it. It's dry, but you can't run equipment in it. I mean, if we could run equipment, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, you're normally in hip boots of waders and slogging through there.
Right.
But you can
so if you look at the next picture, that's a picture of the excavator.
Oh, yeah.
That's when we were cutting the canal that we were going to flow water through right towards where that fire's at. And that's an excavator working at night. I mean, we've been working around the clock on this thing. If you look at the next page, that's where we were cutting the channel, and we've got all these 20 and 24-inch and 18-inch pumps that's pumping. And we're pumping about 170 million gallons per 24 hours. And that's both, the ones on Bayou levee and here. And we just got this is originally wetlands. I mean, we just bringing it back to wetlands because it's dry,
Sure, yeah. We've had a very unseasonably dry, I guess, last few months. And then you also had lower river conditions all year. So, you had lower water levels that you historically don't see, especially the last few years where we're dealing with the other problem where high water. But
swamps that were never dry. This is all freshwater swamps and what they call freshwater marsh and bottomland hardwood. You with the levee board, so you know exactly what I'm saying
Sure.
when I talk about bottomland hardwood.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. Our public works and all our guys have done a wonderful job. And Steve Ponville and I'm bringing my hats off to them guys. They've been working around the clock. Oh,
yeah, it's some great efforts going in, and we have some more we want to show you, especially some images from drone footage. We do need to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights.
Welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, talking here with Terrebonne Parish President Gordon Dove. During the break, we were talking a little bit about one area right now, Savannah Road, where that's currently closed. Can you tell us, the reasons behind that and what's all going on there?
Because we have excavators, bulldozers, trucks unloading, and sometimes it's just covered with smoke. Mm-hmm. But when it's not covered with smoke, a lot of people call and said, well, why is it not open? Well, because we got equipment back and forth on the road. We don't want anybody to get hurt, including our own operators.
Sure. And if you want to pull up the next slide, show you some of the equipment out there. Can you tell us where this is at?
This is on Bayou levee. That's when they were setting it up. That's a couple of days ago. They've been running for a couple of days now. And
those are some temporary pumps that were
That's just all portable pumps. That's some 12-inch pumps they're putting. That's corner Savannah and Whiskey Bayou. We were setting up a bunch of equipment there, and that's the same place. See the bridge on Savannah Road. We're pumping out of Whiskey Bayou, which is fed by the intercoastal all the way. So you got plenty of water source there. You won't run short of water because that goes into Little Bayou Black, which goes into the intercoastal. And that's just more pictures, and you can see the kind of equipment we have out there that's pumping out of Whiskey Bayou we're actually taking dry land and making wetlands with it, basically what we're doing. We're doing a reverse of what we've been doing. I've been building pump stations to dry out the parish.
Sure.
Now I got to wet it up because of the fire, So
it's a little bit different working back.
Yeah. So,
but it's certainly not, a small task at all. You can see all this equipment you got. It's certainly a large task that you've got on your hands.
They keep flipping. That's just different pictures of. These are some 20-inch pumps, and this is some massive pumps, and we have a total of 20 pumps. Large and all the way down to 8 inches. And you can see that's that channel we just dug to get the water towards the fire that you saw in that dark picture. Yes. And as you can see, we're flowing a lot of water. And Next one, you can see the smoke haze right there. And that's where we're discharging. You kind of see the smoke haze in the background. See, now that's on, right there is on, that's on Bayou Cane. But look way in the back, you see that? That's that big basin. We got to flood that whole thing, and we've got a good percentage of it flooded. So it's the water's moving throughout that system, and that's pumps on Bayou Cane. You're looking at with those white pickup trucks, and we're pumping out of Bayou Cane, and that's a pond. That was a big lake inside that system, and that's all that's left of that lake. That's how small it is, but you can see where it burned up to it. And you can see how much is burned on this next picture. Look, I mean, it's just massive, and wow. It's got so much underbrush. Even if it looks burnt, it'll ignite back up again. So the only way I figure, and you know, I'm working with a lot of other people, and my engineers and all, and I believe is to douse it, and that's to put just, and we have the capability to do it on this piece of property. This 4,000-acre piece of property.
4,000.
Yeah, you can see how it walks in a line, you know, like a marching army. You know, it's.
You don't have any structures out there or anything. It's all just wetlands.
It's just relentless. It's and if they keep going, we'll make it to a video, and we can. So that's just pictures of it. You know, you can see all what's burnt behind it, and that's what we're trying to stop. You know, and even the bird part ignites again because it's got so much underbrush, that it just keeps going. And yeah, that's a video, huh?
Yeah, that's the video. I think this was taken today, was it? Jason, is that right?
Yeah, that's the day, I believe, huh?
Yes, that is today's video. So you can see how much it is currently
and
burning.
You see this. See the high lines. Right now, the high lines are flooding. I'm flooding those high lines you see right there. I've got pumps. We got water all the way down there. So when it reaches the high lines, it should stop it. And, you know, so as you can see, it's working its way. So we're drawing our line of defense, so to speak, and flooding it out as much as we can to stop that roar. It looks like I said, it looks like an army. And if they want to go to the next one, because we're going to run out of time, that's how it looked before all these fires. See how pristine, beautiful, and
nice and green now.
Nice and green. That's a video prior to the fire, and I just wanted to show the public. It'll grow back, you know. I mean, that's one thing about marsh. Freshwater marsh is pretty resilient, and
it'll come back healthier than ever, probably.
And it's a beautiful piece. It is owned by Terrebonne Parish, 4,000 acres. It was donated by Shell Oil, and of course we're making a retention out of it to pump water out of Bayou Cane. When we have massive rains, Bonanza can't take all the water, so we have the models show us we need to take some water and store it. So this is. We were gonna store it in here anyway, but it's normally wet. So you know, and we're gonna keep it wetlands like this. So,
you know, because of the unique opportunity to where it's at, you're able to flood it up. It's not like just a forest fire out in the middle, and you know, this is nice and contained.
And I talked to Go South. You know, that's Louisiana. Emergency operations, and we have a good chance they're gonna fund everything. We just have to submit our paperwork, and we're the only one in the state of Louisiana that's flooding instead of just fighting it. So when we finish, it's going to be out.
All right. Well, thank you very much for giving us an update. We certainly appreciate it. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.